Welcome to the Retail Doctor Group 12 Tips to Fit Christmas Retailing. Good morning, Peter. Happy Friday.
Good morning, Sylvia. Yes, Fridays are lovely.
Yes, it is wonderful. So today we are talking about measuring your metrics. Now, setting the key metrics happens months and months before Christmas. And measuring these, the effectiveness of these metrics such as sales, margins, sell-throughs, wages, productivity, customer processing times can be really key to meeting those sales targets during not only the silly season, but beyond also when we look back at the season that was. Peter, what learnings can be made during Christmas trade to improve performance for next year's Christmas and really have a retailer be able to put their best foot forward?
I think that's a very important aspect of retailing, particularly as things get tighter and more competitive. We need to know how we're measuring up against our competitors. And most often when I talk to medium-sized retailers, they know their own metrics. They know what their sales per square meter is. They know what margins they're achieving. They know their sell-throughs and all of those stock turns, but they don't know how they're measuring up within their industry. That information is not that readily available unless you're in the industry and advisory business like we are, where we have all of those national metrics on tap and we know. I'll give you an example. I have a retailer based down in Canberra who was performing in their view relatively well. But when I started working with them, their sales per meter was below the national average, their gross margin was below the national average, their productivity was low, and therefore the wage cost percentage was too high. And so they had 5 months stock instead of maybe 2.5, and so it went on. And as a result, their cash flows were relatively tight. Well, a year later, talking to them just this morning, they are 49% up on last year since July. Their margins are 4 margin points better, and they are doing it on half the stock they used to do. Result, wonderful cash flow, just because we knew what that industry or what that category's metrics should be. So there's a lot of benefits to being able to measure your metrics against the industry.
Very interesting, Peter.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with the outcome of that retailer.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So if we're talking about looking beyond Christmas. Let's look, we've got 2 weeks left of the Christmas period. What should I be doing over the next 2 weeks in terms of measuring my metrics, analyzing the numbers? What can I do with the numbers over the next 2 weeks if I'm not hitting my targets, or perhaps I am and I've got some stretch targets in place? What are your suggestions?
I think, seeing as it's Friday and you might have some time over the weekend, is to review where your business is. Have a look at the average sales you're achieving. Are you achieving 1 item per sale or 1.5 items per sale? It can be as simple as that. And then you go back on Monday morning or whenever you have your next team meeting and say, guys, we are not achieving the industry average. Even if you are creating a little bit of motivation and pressure on your people, is that we need to increase that 1.5 items per sale to 2. And you know what? That's a 30% increase in sales. But putting it simply like that, it seems, and if they get to 1.75 or 1.8, you're still 20% up. So it's using the metrics to motivate and to encourage and to reward and recognize.
Absolutely. You can use it, healthy competition.
Exactly right.
Create some healthy competition within the store to really help meet those targets over the next 2 weeks.
As we said in a prior podcast, when we were talking about average transactional values, it is much easier to provide good service and sell more to your current customers than it is to go out and market to bring more people into your store particularly at this time of the year. People have got money in their wallets, that were ready to spend. Help them do that.
Absolutely. It's all about encouraging those customers to spend in your store when they have taken the time to visit you. So it's all about conversion. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So any last final tips before we wrap up on that one, Peter?
I think the other thing that we need to do is post-Christmas, sometime in January, is sit down and analyze how you did. What were your sell-throughs? What were your sales from the front third of the store, so the front 20% of the store? Did my windows work for me? What could I do better? But again, try and measure not only within your business, which is important, measure against the prior year, but also against the industry. And give us a call. We have all of that information.
I was just going to say that, Peter. So if I'm a retailer and I'm perhaps unaware, or need some advice on metrics that I should be focusing on in my business, what's your suggestion? Should they reach out to us?
Let them reach out to us, and we're happy to start a conversation and do a diagnostic for them as to where the opportunities are within their business. They might not know that there are big opportunities, as did this camera retailer that I was mentioning. They thought they were doing relatively well.
Yeah.
They're so much happier today than they were a year ago.
Brilliant. Well, there you have it. Contact us if you would like any advice. Thank you, Peter, for today. We'll chat with you again tomorrow. Have a lovely weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Bye-bye.